Hello, pretzels, and welcome to the two-man show for this week. A little special here with Stixy Drip Drip and myself. We did catch Ring of Honor's pay-per-view, not a premium live event, pay-per-view. It was Death before Dishonor, and wow, this being my Ring of Honor cherry has been popped in pay-per-views, and I was not disappointed. Sticks, we got a lot of matches to go through. How you doing, my man?
Little litty, extremely litty after being able to watch some good, not wrestling, but wrestling.
Yeah.
And am excited to talk to you about some Ring of Honor.
This was wrestling. Cheers, brother. All right, well, we kick off the pre-show or the 0 hour. I like that name better. For the pay-per-view, it was Colt Cabana, boom, boom, versus Anthony Henry with JD Drake. Not a handshake starts the match. Henry, so disrespectful. The audio cut out, possibly Sling fucking up. Commentary, not necessarily setting the world on fire or anything. Great. Now it's in Spanish. Henry working Colt's head and neck. Okay, back in English. Fuck. Fuck shit with JD. Colt wins with the moonsault. 3 pretzels. It's nice to see Colt Cabana again. What do you think?
Wholeheartedly agree with you on this. Colt Cabana, Ring of Honor staple. Hadn't been on AEW TV for a while, so there was kind of so maybe we got the answer. Maybe he's going to be a Ring of Honor exclusive guy. But it is nice seeing Colt Cabana on Ring of Honor TV. Not a bad match. Definitely worth the zero dark show. So they got the Tony Skeets got that right for that. And not a bad way to start the pre-show.
It wasn't even dark. It was just power outage. Next, we have Shinobi Shadow Squad versus the Truth Busters. Is that guy's name Cheeseburger? Slim J looks like an unmasked Rey Mysterio. Is Cheeseburger Pineapple Pete? So racist? Is Tony Skeets paying all these motherfuckers? Cheeseburger with a very unique submission to Slim Mysterio. A floating twisting cutter by Slim, followed by a frog splash by Daivari for the win. This gets 4 pretzels for Cheeseburger because he is great. What did you think of this match, Sticks?
I gave it 4 in the salt. Cheeseburger is a Ring of Honor staple, also known as the world famous Cheeseburger, and something to watch, keep an eye on. Truth Busters. The guy who played Harlan in NXT, Parker Brodeur, I believe if I saw on Twitter, showed up with them at I think it was either Dark Elevation, I believe. So that's something to keep an eye on to see if Mr. Harlan, aka Parker, is going to be a part of this gang, to see if he'll be on Ring of Honor TV. But oh no, not that bad. I think the other guy wasn't too bad. I think Slim J. So that was nice little back and forth. They got a little team going with that, but oh no, not bad.
I did see the snapshot of that on Twitter, and Parker has hair now.
Oh yeah.
Up next, we get Eddie Murphy from Coming to America has purchased Tully Blanchard Enterprises. We come to find out this is Prince Nana or King Nana, or whatever the fuck it was. Up next, Gates of Agony and Brian Cage with Prince Nana versus, now remember, Sticks, totally unfamiliar with Ring of Honor. So at the time I wrote versus 3 crackers about to die. Aesthetically, the Gates of Agony and Brian Cage look undefeatable. Alex Zane has the red pants and red hair. It was very impressive. Cage with that deadlift Cesaro suplex off apron, which wouldn't be the first time we saw that this pay-per-view. Hudis Blake Christian. The speed and agility, this dude was those crackers' secret weapon. He was the last to be tagged in. Good God, Zane's moonsault to the outside. Wow. Crackers almost took out Cage. Great action. Shades of Roderick Strong, one of the commentators said. Yeah, Embassy wins, but man, those three crackers, that was some good shit. I was surprised, like I told you in the chat. I gave it a respectable 6 pretzels. I enjoyed this. Your thoughts?
Wholeheartedly agree with you. That was a 6. Let's go ahead and unpack some of this stuff. Alex Zane, this guy competes over in New Japan Pro Wrestling, was teamed up with Ace Austin of Impact Wrestling. Ace Austin, here in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, turned on Alex Zane when he joined the infamous, world famous Bullet Club. And so he had a nice little run against Ace on Impact. Blake Christian, all heart, has wrestled on Impact and has also wrestled in a nice little indie promotion that some people should probably maybe keep an eye on, that a certain Death Machine runs, Wrestling Revolver. He has competed on that. Also, world famously known as Cora Jade's boyfriend. And I believe Khan on the other team with Brian Cage. Now my drunken history might be off, but I want to say, and our good friend, a guy who I believe is the walking encyclopedia for Ring of Honor, Andy with an I, he'd be able to answer this, but I believe he was part of the world famous Shane Taylor Promotions, which those 3 guys, fucking phenomenal. And of course, everybody knows Brian Cage, Lucha Underground, Impact. Nice little run in AEW. Guy can go. This match, like you said, the 3 crackers put up a hell of a fucking fight. The moves, the wrestling in this, and Brian Cage and his team end up winning. Hell of a way to cap off the pre-show. Like you, I gave it 6 and got us excited and something to look forward to going into the main card.
Prince Nana, thoughts? Is this a new guy?
Oh, see, I can't remember him, so he very well might be, and he very well might not be. But it would maybe explain. Tully Blanchard had these guys, and then we saw here, was it about a week or 2 ago, at the time Ring of Honor champion Jonathan Gresham turned his back and joined them. So maybe this is something that shows that maybe Tully Blanchard isn't going to be able to full-time be with these guys, and this guy will be part of them. I don't know. I don't remember hearing of him. He very well could be a Ring of Honor person, might be under a different name. I don't know. But that's going to be very interesting going forward with whatever they had planned going forward.
Well, Stix, he probably got up to take a leak or took a shit, but I don't blame you, because this next match was the lowest point, and that's not saying much. The lowest point of the entire experience, it was Allison Kay looking like Rogue on food stamps versus Willow. Allison's wedgie has won the match already. Willow looks like the type of person you would for sure have to leave the door open to air out the restroom after she's done. It wasn't an awful match. There were 2 botches. Willow wins with the gut wrench. For a women's match, I gave it 3 pretzels. I don't know if you checked it out or not.
Yeah, I did, and I gave it a mercy pretzel. I also have to try to catch myself, because we've been such spoiled with women's wrestling in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the women in WWE are light years and galaxies better than women in all other. Plus, we also have to remember Ring of Honor lost possibly their best woman in Roxy to NXT to become Roxanne. So I think they're trying to rebuild. We'd seen Willow off and on in AEW, but this one could have definitely not even been on the pre-show. This could have been a YouTube exclusive for maybe Ring of Honor before sunrise. But this was, I gave it a mercy pretzel.
They could have had it in the parking lot before they opened the gates.
They could have had it in that bathroom that they aired out.
Well, now the show starts, the main show, Death Before Dishonor. And what would be the first match? Shocker, even to the commentators. It was for the Ring of Honor Championship. It was Jonathan Gresham versus Claudio with Regal. Regal joins commentary. There's no man in the mask this time, but he did his best. Very technical start. Claudio then puts the crown on because the King of Swing about to hit that tiny buff man. Oh, there's King Nana. Prince Nana? I don't know. I didn't really pay attention. Brian Danielson and Brian Kendrick, students of Regal, started Ring of Honor. That was news to me. Gresham's size is deceiving because he is going to move. He's going move for move with old Claudio. Claudio almost kills himself and Gresham doing a deadlift, gourd busting suplex from the second rope. Couldn't catch his balance quite, but he did knock it off, sort of. Gresham attacks on Claudio's leg, successful. We get the ankle lock. Claudio's foot is as big as Gresham's body. Claudio with the Shinsuke, come on! Wow, Gresham is pretty damn impressive. His height may be an advantage instead of a flaw. Claudio beat the fuck out of Gresham with the hammer and anvil strikes. Powerbomb for the win. Hashtag and new Ring of Honor champion. The confetti celebration. We get sportsmanship as well. Yeah, Claudio is the new Ring of Honor champion. I thought when Prince Nana made that announcement on the pre-show that fuck shit would come into play, but no. Great way to kick off this pay-per-view with the main championship. I gave it 7 pretzel sticks. What did you think of this, the first match on the card?
I gave it 6 in the salt, and I wasn't happy with the decision on this. I mean, first off, congratulations to Cesaro for winning his first majors singles championship. But Jonathan Gresham, man, and you had talked about it. This man, in every match I'm pretty sure he's ever wrestled, has always been at a disadvantage with his height. But this man is one of the, if not the best technical wrestlers on the face of the earth. I would put him up against anybody in the present. I would even put him up against some people in the past like Dean Malenko and Arn Anderson and even maybe Ric Flair. I thought Gresham had done a really good job during the situation of Ring of Honor. Like, you never knew what was going to happen. Someone was going to buy. He defended the title, and they made light of this on the broadcast. He went to New Japan. He was on Impact. He was on AEW. I would have liked them to be able to keep him on it. Like, you could have had Cesaro win it somewhere down the line, but I mean, they pulled the trigger on it. And obviously, everybody on the internet, and even with me disappointed, I'm happy that Cesaro has become a major championship holder. And this was a really good way to start card off. Generally, you like to see your singles champion, your major singles champion end it. But as we will find out going deeper in this card, they made the right call on having that open the card up. And I gave it 6 in the salt. Really good technical match. And congratulations, Cesaro. And we'll see where Jonathan Gresham goes now, what plans they have for him.
I hope in the future he takes on Zack Sabre Jr. That might be a banger.
That would be good. That would be really good.
Up next, the match I told you I had been looking forward to. It's the 6-man tag team championship match. The Righteous versus Dalton Castle and the Boys. This motherfucker quite the character. Dalton's entrance, wow. And then they're fighting fucking Rob Zombie, about to go Dragula on these Peacock boys. When wrestling fans say they love characters and tune in to see entertainment, this is it. Just the look, pomp, and circumstance of this match, plus the 6-man tag titles, makes this interesting. Facebook Sean is in the Righteous? Dutch? I guess the smaller you are, the more damage you can take. Bring me a boy, Dalton screams. He then proceeds to throw each boy 26 times onto the righteous on the outside. The flower crown chick distracts and accidentally moonsaults onto her own team. Facebook Sean dives over the top rope and flattens the boys. Dalton pushes ref to break 3 count. Vincent with a hell of a whiplashing cutter. I guess it's called the Ray of Sunshine. Dalton with a helicopter sit down flapjack like move to Bateman for the win and new 6-man tag champs. I enjoyed this a lot. I gave it 6 pretzels with the mustard. Like I said, talk about thoroughly sports entertained, Stix. What did you think of this? You know everyone involved in this, so you knew what you were getting into. But I was just astonished.
I had told you, I know you had said something to me in chat, and I told you, if there's somebody that epitomizes being a sports entertainer, you know, whatever Jericho wants to say he's sports entertainer. No, Jericho, you want to be a sports entertainer? Fucking watch Dalton motherfucking Castle. This guy embodies what his gimmick is. This guy has been this guy in Ring of Honor. The boys, he's had the boys. There was a run where he kind of shunned the boys, where he went heel. It's good that he's back with the boys. And Vincent and the Righteous. Little quick update. Vincent used to be in the Kingdom, Matt Taven's Kingdom, when it was Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, and Vincent. And then Vincent broke free towards the end of Ring of Honor's run. Taven and Vincent had matches, had a numerous set of matches, and both Taven and Vincent had showed up on Impact, which I know there's still a lot of uncertainty going on with a lot of these because we don't know contract situations. So I kind of wondered going into this with Vincent. I know they had made the comment with Bateman that he had wrestled in New Japan for New Japan Strong, which is, I believe, exclusively over here in the United States. So I don't wonder if maybe Castle is more able to wrestle a lot of Ring of Honor stuff than Vincent, because I don't know if Vincent is a full-time Impact superstar. But back to the match. Great match. Glad to see Dalton Castle and the boys become the become the tag team champs. Heck of a match. 6 pretzels. And the man who I believe epitomizes sports entertainment and is a sports entertainer is on top in hell of a match.
Well, by the looks of it, he's a power top.
Yes.
Next, we get, for the Pure Championship, it's Wheeler Yuta versus Daniel Garcia. Regal back out on commentary, plus judges. Handshake turns violent. These two trying to out-technical each other. Regal is sweet on Danny. Cameraman, please stop zooming in on Danny's butt cheek. Regal, great on commentary. Commentators are doing a great job of explaining how personal this match really is. Danny then bites Yuta. Danny trying to cauliflower the ear. The judges must be having a hell of a time scoring this or whatever, because I'm not sure how they score it or if it's just their opinion. I'm not familiar with it, but these guys are seemingly equal in the ring. Danny just more aggressive. There's a slap fest. Yuta wins. Ref counting Danny. Is this boxing? But no, I remember you telling me the rules, Stix, about this. Trading hammer and anvil strikes between the two. Crossface. A deep sharpshooter. Bulldog choke. Danny with the Regal stretch. Walls of Jericho from Yuta. Danny gets the first rope break in the match. That's a big deal in the pure wrestling matches because they only get 3. Regal getting pissed at the commentators asking him questions about strategy. Danny tried the goat stomps. Yuta spits in his face. I think it was his mouthpiece. Yuta reverses into his unique pin for the retain. Danny flips off Yuta and Ring of Honor on the way out. I loved it. I love this match. This was a really good match. I gave it 7 pretzels with the salt. It's incredibly technical. My only gripe, perhaps a little too short, but now that seeing the rest of the pay-per-view, Now I understand why. But Stix, what did you think of this pure championship wrestling match?
The pure championship, pure rules are one of the big things I love about Ring of Honor. It gives you a twist of something different. I know we had talked about it. They threw the rules up there. I haven't seen very many pure rules matches. There are probably maybe 7 to 10 pure wrestling matches I've seen, and since I've watched Ring of Honor, and I think maybe one of those have gone to the judges. They do actually legit judge them. They score them. But this, you want to talk about technical. Both these guys fit the pure wrestling class, the pure wrestling division. Danny Garcia was giving me young William Regal vibes from the trunks, like they even talked about it, just to even some hands. He does not look like he belongs to the Jericho Appreciation Society, in my opinion. This guy is super technical. I hope he bounces from AEW. I think he would be huge. I think he'd be a great pure champion. Wheeler Yuta is a really good pure champion. He fits it good. It's kind of neat. It's kind of weird to have him do a rope break himself, but that's just kind of I would have liked to see at least one of them each have one. I know Regal had made the comment. Well, I told young Wheeler that he was going to be punished if he grabbed the rope. So, I mean, a lot of stuff they foreshadowed, like they had talked about Danny Garcia. Maybe he should, William wanted him over Wheeler. Regal had made comments that he didn't want that. He had said that, obviously knew a lot of the moves because they had trained before Dynamite and Rampage. Oh, this was a really good technical match. The moves back and forth. Garcia with the sharpshooter and leaning back too far, got into the choke. They were able to break it. Garcia with the lion tamer. The cult. There's even the little things, the coloring of the ear, working on the ear. So good, so good. I gave it 8, just 8. I thought it was really good. Really good. I have a soft spot in my heart for pure wrestling. I do. And this was nice to see because I haven't seen a pure wrestling match in probably close to 2 years on Ring of Honor. So this got my juices. They didn't get him titillated, but they got him percolating a little bit. So this was a really nice change of what they had in the card. And I gave it 8, and it was a really good technical wrestling match. Not a wrestling, but a wrestling match.
And the cherry on top of all of it was the promo video before. The video, the passion. I had no idea Danny Garcia went through all that. And then I started remembering in my head Jericho tweeting about it when it happened. So he legit really did pay for all of Danny's bills. Now the whole thing makes sense. Jericho Appreciation. It all makes, and then Wheeler is just like, blah, 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 blah. And it showed the picture of them from back in the day, like when they're coming up. Like it was a perfectly constructed match. This was perfect, but it could have been longer. Up next, RoH versus Dragon Lee, the battle of the brothers. Sportsmanship hug between them. RoH may have the strength, but Dragon with some great strikes. RoH abuses the frail barricades with his brother's body. They have a 20 count in Ring of Honor. Also news to me. This has not been the RoH from AEW. This is a luchador I would love to see have a straight up match with Phoenix. Dragon Lee just launched himself through RoH, through the announce table, Suicida style, good Lord. Forearm off between Los Hermanos, a chop off as well. A scary looking botch as RoH looked like he was trying a DDT of sort to Lee, but they just fell flat. Deadlift suplex by RoH, like I had said earlier. I guess Cesaro influence all over the place. This move is like the super kick in AEW. Jesus Christ, while on the apron, RoH overhead, belly to bellies Lee off of the fucking apron onto the floor. Sloppy inside out Frankensteiner from Lee to RoH. The crowd starts counting in Spanish as the brothers struggle to get back into the ring. Another release overhead belly to belly from RoH to Lee sends him upside down into the turnbuckle. Lee kicks out of the horns. RoH kicks out of multiple pin attempts. RoH lures Lee in, pretending to have his bell rung. RoH ultimately wins with the horns drop kick. This is my first time seeing Dragon Lee, and this is prime RoH. This dude, these guys, man, like me and Cesar always say, when you're best friends or when you're related, you know you can fuck each other up and get away with it. These guys put on a show. Massively impressed. I gave it 7 pretzels with the salt. Stix, what did you guys, you're already used to these guys. What did you think of this? This was a match just because, by the way. They were just like, we need another match. Just send the brothers out there. They're like, okay, yo, fine.
When we had talked out, I can't remember if we had talked off air. I think we had talked back for the chat, and I told you this could be sneaky match of the whole card. Mm-hmm. Ring of Honor RoH, when he was Ring of Honor World Champion, that guy was fucking awesome. Dragon Lee, fucking awesome. Ring of Honor TV champion. These guys, you just like you just said, you threw them in a match just to basically probably fill time. And it's like, you guys might not have high expectations for this, but fans that have watched these guys will know you fucking gave them a fucking match that could steal the card. Outside of the botches, I mean, RoH and Dragon Lee, they fucking perform, man. I gave this a solid 7. I would have probably gave it some mustard, but the botches, I didn't care for the lawn dart onto RoH who was already on the table. I didn't care for that. If you're gonna do that, I would have rather had you have the table a little bit closer. But I mean, obviously nitpicking, but both these guys can fucking go. And I think they had made the announcement that we're gonna get RoH on a Fight for the Fallen coming up here next Wednesday, I think against Jon Moxley. And I will tell you this, if we can fucking get RoH, hey, John, get ready, buddy, because you're going to have a fucking match. And if any people who are watching or end up listening to this, if you get a little time, go on a deep dive, get on YouTube, watch some old RoH films. You'll know this guy can go. Solid 7 pretzels for a match that seemed to just be thrown together and turned out to be really good.
It was good. Up next is the Ring of Honor Women's Championship match. It was my girl Eminem versus the Professor, Serena Deeb. They actually shake hands. The crowd is pro Deeb as they trade holds to start. The commentator says he's never seen a chin like Mercedes. It can take a lot of damage. That just made me laugh. Poor Mercedes with her fucking lino chin. Deeb spears Eminem while they were on the apron. Deeb hits a move I have not seen in a long time. While on the top turnbuckle, Deeb had, I'm trying to explain this as best as possible. While on the top turnbuckle, Deeb had Eminem and a dragon sleeper like hold, and then flips over almost like an elevated cutter or stunner. That move was very popular in the past WWE games. Like on the pre-made move sets, like everybody had that fucking move. I don't remember what it's called, but it was cool. I even had it as some finishers for some of my created characters, but it was pretty cool to see that move again. Speaking of Dragon Sleeper, Mercedes locks it in on Deeb over on the top turnbuckle and just wrenches the fuck out of it. Deeb Tree of Woes Eminem and kicks the shit out of her back and then midsection. Deeb talks stretch. Good Lord, that looks painful in every way. Eminem with a very unique seated-like submission to Deeb. It's kicking titty time. Holy fuck, Eminem with a vicious spider German to Deeb that looked dangerous. Deeb all kinds of fucked up as Eminem attempts a dragon sleeper, but Deeb bites her. Tornado DDT followed by a Serenity Lock by Deeb. Eminem escapes. Eminem retains with that dragon sleeper. This was a great match. They actually hugged. Why can't this happen in AEW? I'm going to have a talk with you after. I gave it 7 pretzels because this was a decent match. If this would have happened in AEW, there would have been botches aplenty. And I started really thinking about this, Stix. Why do we have such a great match like this on Ring of Honor pay-per-view as opposed to AEW Dynamite or even their pay-per-view? And the only thing I can think of possibly is the atmosphere. Perhaps the whatever arena and different fan base that they have in the AEW arena as compared to Ring of Honor. I'm not quite sure. I want to hear your thoughts on that, plus your rating of this match. What did you think of it?
I agree with you on it. I gave it 7. The exchange, like you just talked about, the turnbuckle exchange between these two. Then I believe they went back and forth with some submission exchanges. These two, like you said, I'm going to talk about environment because I want to believe that there were more Ring of Honor fans in this crowd than there were just like your typical AEW fans and even like maybe the casual fans. And we've watched Serena Deeb go in AEW. We've off and on seen Mercedes. I know she kind of bounced around. She was in WWE, then went to Impact and AEW. She kind of hadn't been on TV. She won the RoH title in her last pay-per-view. But this match, I really hope they keep Serena Deeb in Ring of Honor because I thought she was actually gonna win, and I wouldn't have had a problem with it because I mean she is literally the professor of women's wrestling. She would be really good to have elevate Ring of Honor's women division when we find out which women are actually in that division.
Exactly.
Because I mean, I know AEW is still trying to figure out their women's division outside of the good Doctor. And obviously, Mercedes is probably going to be a staple for Ring of Honor. And it was nice. It was nice to have Serena do this, and hopefully she has a home in Ring of Honor because she's kind of just been floating. Like they haven't really had anything substantial for her. Like she hasn't been submitted in something. I mean, she had that run with fucking Hikaru, Kushida, and after that she's kind of to here. So maybe she'll have maybe a little bit of a longer tenured feud with Mercedes. I know they've been a tag team for a little bit, but maybe we'll find out. I'd love to see her stay in Ring of Honor, but knowing good old Tony Skeets, he might have just fucking loaned her out and she's going to be back fucking maybe in AEW Dark Elevation or trying to maybe cutting better promos than Thunder Rosa. But this was a really good women's match. 7 pretzels, better than what I expected. So hell of a women's match for Ring of Honor. Way better than the pre-show one that took place in a dark, dumpy restroom.
You know, it's funny that I gave this 7 pretzels when I'm about to say this. This is the best match I've ever seen out of both of them. And I gave it 7 pretzels. No disrespect, ladies, but I digress. Up next is for the Ring of Honor Television Championship. It was Samoa Joe, who's been MIA as of late, versus Jay Lethal. He came out with Sanjay and the Worst Khali. He sends the boys to the back. The fight starts during Joe's entrance. Jay flies out of the ring with 3 suicide dives. I don't think the match has even started yet, and these guys have been fighting for 10 minutes on the outside. Joe about to put Lethal through a table when the Worst Khali interferes. wraps Joe's arm in a chair and tosses him at the ring post. The ref tells the worst Khali to hit the bricks. The match finally fucking starts. Of course, the arm is targeted. Why haven't we heard from Joe much? Is he in bad health? He's not looking too good. Let's go Lethal. Lethal sucks, chance. Did the commentator just mention that Joe won NXT Gold here? Joe dishing out some offense here. Lethal looking like a black guy from The Simpsons. He's a little yellowish. Lethal attempts muscle buster but fails. Almost saw an avalanche muscle buster from Joe. Lethal injection gets a 2.5. With a Sanjay distraction, Lethal strikes Joe with the title and gets a 2 3/4. Joe counters pin in the Coquina clutch for the retain. Because it's Samoa Joe, I gave it 7 pretzels. Stix, what did you think about this match? And did Samoa Joe look okay to you?
No, he didn't. And because it was Samoa Joe, I gave it 6. I mean, Joe came in hard hitting as always, but like you said, just something seemed off with Joe. Like it didn't seem like the normal Samoa Joe. I mean, we didn't even get any like just pre-tape promos going into this. Like after he got attacked on AEW television, he went dark. Like there hadn't seen anything, and normally you would get at least something pre-taped. Like he could have even just taped one from home or something. We didn't get anything, so that worried me. And this did nothing to help ease any of my worries. Like I would think if he was gonna stay in Ring of Honor, especially going forward till he gets something figured out, it'd be a lighter schedule. But I don't know. I mean, I'm worried because this ain't Samoa Joe that we know. And just because it was him and his name alone, we both gave it decently good pretzels. But if it was Jay Lethal and somebody else, I mean, this wouldn't maybe barely even cracked 5. And Jay Lethal, for what I've known from him and watched of him, you got to get rid of those fucking 2 jabrones that you got, man. I mean, Sanjay Dutt, he was not even a decent wrestler. He was an okay wrestler when he was a wrestler. This fucking tall dude, when they fucking threw him out, it took him under 20 minutes to get his fucking jacket off to throw in anger. I mean, this guy, you want to talk about raw. There's raw, and then there's fucking meat that's still fucking mooing before you throw it on the fucking grill. He's that. So Tony Skeets, you better work this guy. You better have him at whatever training facility you got, because this guy's gotta fucking get some work in. But yeah, I mean, Samoa Joe, this match could have been towards the beginning of the card. The whole thing before the match, you could have did in like a couple minutes. You could have threw that extra time into the fucking pure match that we had just talked about. But I really hope if Joe's not good, I hope he gets the feeling better. Or I just hope maybe it was an off night from Joe. But this match kind of left a little bit more questions than it did answers for me and maybe even you. But it was okay.
I have a couple of side notes here. One, I mean, I know Tony Skeets is a fucking idiot, but if there really was something wrong medically with Samoa Joe, they perhaps would have had him drop the title tonight. Number 2, man, they really, Jay Lethal, Sanjay, and the worst Khali Stix. We talk about it every week. They have a little backstage promo every fucking week about this match. Samoa Joe, we're gonna fuck you up. Da, da, da. And the worst Khali and Sanjay, yeah, you tell him. That was every week for the past month and a half. We would see that, and I would just skip over it during notes. And now we know why, because fucking Samoa Joe, it was like Bray versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania. It was all them, and Samoa Joe just showed up and kicked some ass.
Yeah, those 3 didn't do anything to help the cause, and this match didn't even help. But like you had said, if there was something really wrong with Joe, they could have done something like an interim, or maybe you could have even did like a number one contenders match. And then since you like to cross promote, if Joe's hurt, you could have had it. You could have had that RoH TV title match on one of your 50 to 100 TV pay-per-view title episodes, like your week 40 of Fight for the Fallen or something like that. You could have did it then, but hopefully he just had an off night. I mean, just hopefully, because we're all fans of Samoa Joe, and I hope they just didn't trot him out there just to trot him out there for namesake and for eyeballs on the product.
So Stix, by the way, ever since this pay-per-view ended, I have been busy. Like, I've been doing shit. So I have not had the chance to check wrestling Twitter yet. And I love doing that. After a pay-per-view, I always hop on wrestling Twitter. I see everyone bitching. I see all the funny memes. I see the compliments and stuff. So I'm very excited to get on Twitter after we stop recording, because it's main event time. This match lasted 55 minutes. It was a 2 out of 3 falls match for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. It was FTR versus them boys, the Briscoes. The Briscoes look like car mechanics that will stab you if you complain about the cost. The crowd loving them some FTR. Imagine FTR walking through the forbidden door and dethroning the Usos. Wow, that would be pretty cool. But we all know what happened when the Usos fought the Revival back in the day. I don't know. Wow, Redneck Kung Fu. That was pretty funny. That's the first time I heard that. Jay and Uncle Dax with a hell of an exchange. Doc has to check on Dax. After an aggressive attack by Cash to Jay, Briscoes regroup and tell the Doc to back off. Dax attack, leg drop. You love to see the rise of the stock of FTR. Remember, they were just goons in the Pinnacle? Look at this team now, legends. This is a great example of how good tag team wrestling can be. A Doomsday Device gives the Briscoes the first fall. Dax in all kinds of trouble here, remaining in the ring as the match resumed. Mark Briscoe chopped the blood out of Dax. Lots of odd camera cuts during this match. Briscoe's excellent at not letting Dax get that tag. Redneck Boogie gets a 2.5. I like how Cash was kicked off the apron and plays like he was just shot. This has been the most chops I have ever seen in a wrestling match in my entire life. Cash gets the hot tag and cleans house. Gory special to Mark gets a 2 3/4. Fight goes into the crowd. The ref's distracted. Jay hits Cash with the ring bell. Near fall with Cash busted open. Big Rig ties it up. Mark hits a blockbuster to Dax off the apron. Weird way to knock out a ref. Dax kind of swung right towards the ref instead of trying to play it off that he missed Mark. FTR catches Jay off second turnbuckle into a big rig, but Jay kicks out. The commentators had an aneurysm about that. That's never happened before. Doomsday Device executed and near fall, but Cash saves the day. Mark and Cash attempt that incredibly dangerous vertical suplex to the outside of the ring while hanging in, and does not end well. That move is too damn risky. They need to stop doing that shit. Just like the women need to stop with the suicide dives. Briscoe's double submission to FTR. I just noticed, this is a lot of notes. Cash avalanche, belly to back suplex from the top rope to outside table. Dax kicks out of the J Driller 2 9/10. Dax with a second turnbuckle pile driver to Jay to win and retain. Of course, this match gets 9 pretzels and the beer cheese. FTR invite Briscoes back in the ring. They shake hands. Briscoe's still a little bit bitter. Motherfucker, I love wrestling, Uncle Dax says. And just when he thought it was over, the Blackpool Combat Club comes out, waving their titles around, pretty much swinging their dicks around, making them known that they're there. Stix, your thoughts on this main event? Holy shit.
To quote Uncle Dax, I'm going to say that I'm going to probably come off as a mark myself, but goddamn, fucking, this is when wrestling is the best, man. I echo your pretzel ratings because the year of FTR fucking continues. This match was fucking fantastic. You have one of the staples of Ring of Honor, the Briscoe brothers, and one of these staples and hottest names in tag team wrestling on the face of the earth today, FTR, all together in a fucking 2 out of 3 falls. They fucking blew the roof off, fucking burnt the building down. You built it back up and they fucking destroyed it again. These fucking guys were so awesome. The fucking chops that Uncle Dax took. I mean, you saw they fucking. I'm betting they made fucking Gunther fucking cringe a little bit. You fucking saw the blood start trickling down his fucking chest. The fucking moves that the Briscoes are doing. The fucking just the all over the place. I mean, this was fucking God. I mean, you said you caught yourself at a point where you're like, Jesus Christ, I just now noticed I took a shit ton of. These guys went 55 fucking minutes, and the only reason I knew what time they were doing because the fucking ring announcer kept reminding them that they had went 20, they had went 40. I mean, I got lost in it just watching it, and when you get lost in watching wrestling, that means that it's a hell of a fucking match. Now, to me, the Briscoes kind of came off as if they were the heels in this. They did some heelish things. The ring bell kept pulling cash off the ring. They had even we even had people go all the way up in the freaking concession stands. And like we had talked about, when they did that, we kind of got a little taste of AEW because the ref didn't count. Even though there was a 20 count, I saw they went to the ref and he's just kind of looking around. I was like, you're supposed to count. So, but outside of that, my God, there was a reason why this was the main event. And they fucking showed up, showed out. At the end, the end was kind of the debut, the showing in the Blackpool Combat Club, kind of anticlimactic. I mean, I would have loved to see an established tag team. Like, I would have loved to see one that maybe from past Ring of Honor. Like, I would have loved to see fucking Taven and Bennett come back. But like I said earlier, I don't know contract situations of a lot of guys. So maybe they're not there. But if you could have got the OG fucking Kingdom to show up and take on fucking FTR maybe whenever their next pay-per-view is, that would have been fucking good. I know FTR's got a heavy plate, man. They got their Ring of Honor champions, AAAs. They probably got to go some point. They got to show up and defend the New Japan ones. But these guys are the epitome of fucking tag team wrestling right now. And as an AEW guy, not AEW guy, but as a WWE guy, you fucking grit your teeth knowing that these guys were in NXT, or even on the main roster, and you didn't get this. You could have got this. These guys could have been your fucking flag bearers for tag team wrestling in WWE. These guys were under your fucking banner, under your umbrella. And you're like, well, we like tag team wrestling right now, but we're going to best on your future endeavor, guys. These guys have fucking showed up. AEW if Tony Skeets wasn't there at their doorstep at the fucking exact time that fucking 30-day or 90-day compete clause was up, man, you won the lotto getting these guys, because these guys are top guys. And this match showed it. And how they're not, like, we've seen it on Twitter. Uncle Dax will throw some shade of like, hey, we're these multiple organization tag team champions. How come we're not even getting a fucking sniff at the AEW tag team championships? These guys should be wrestling them. These guys should be AEW champions. on top of all they had, all the champions they had, to go out and fucking promote these tag team championships, promote AEW. But that's the only tag team championship titles that have eluded them. And hopefully, maybe sometime, since I've dubbed this the year FTR, hopefully that's the cherry on top. And hopefully they get that here in the next couple of weeks, maybe at All Out, or maybe whichever pay-per-view on TV that they'll have at the end of the year. Who knows? Maybe when winter is coming. Who knows? But these guys should be AEW Tag Team Champions. And if they aren't by the end of the year, then fucking A, Tony Skeets, what are you doing? Put the cocaine down for at least 5 minutes and put a match together and let these guys become your tag team champions.
So this is a perfect example of how you can have a fantastic pay-per-view without 5 new people debuting and surprising. That's been overdone. This was a straight up pay-per-view. All the matches that were listed happened. No surprise debuts. All the matches were great. This pay-per-view, Death Before Dishonor, was better than the last 3 AEW pay-per-views. I think Forbidden Door was good, but like the ones before that, Death Before Dishonor was incredible. Stix, my question to you, is this a typical Ring of Honor pay-per-view, or has it been completely changed? Like this is like when WWE took over ECW, but in a good way.
No, this isn't, because you've got some AEW wrestlers in it and different, like other wrestlers. Like I found myself just seeing that this is very odd, because I didn't think this was a Ring of Honor card, because Matt Taven wasn't on it anywhere on the card. Like whenever I think of Ring of Honor, and I will probably think of this correlation whenever I think of Ring of Honor for maybe the next 5 to 10 years. When I think of Ring of Honor, the first name that always comes to me is Matt fucking Taven. And Matt Taven wasn't anywhere on the card. I mean, outside of him being injured, which if he was injured, I think he blew his ACL out a while back here, which that's understandable if he wasn't. I think he had messed his knee up. He had a knee injury. But when I just caught myself thinking that throughout this whole card, it's like Matt Taven isn't on this card. That's not to take away what all the talent on here did, but I just caught myself as like, okay, when's Matt Taven wrestling? But then it was just like, yeah, he wasn't even advertised. That's why I would have thought it would have been nice at the end if you would have hit the music and Taven and Bennett would have came out. Maybe you would have had, they would have looked at FTR, pointed at him, and then you could have had the build up to their next pay-per-view, and then you would have had FTR, OGK. But I mean, this wasn't a typical Ring of Honor card to me, but that's not to take anything away, because this is a different Ring of Honor. This is a Ring of Honor under Tony Khan, which is probably going to be beneficial because you're going to have an influx of money. Like Ring of Honor, it was a good promotion, but you could tell that they had some limitations financially. Mm-hmm. But having somebody like Tony Khan is going to do nothing but help Ring of Honor. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing the Tony Khan era of Ring of Honor, because if it's anything like this pay-per-view card, and whenever they land a TV deal, it might be pretty good. I mean, it might even rival AEW television. So to answer your question, it wasn't like Ring of Honor in the past, but it's under different it's under different control. So to me, it won't. So, but it was still a good pay-per-view card.
My closing thoughts on this is, unless your name is Dalton Castle, I was worried about everybody who walked down those stairs during the entrance ramp, because Dalton owned it. He was just like, stepping on. Everyone else was like, oh shit, walking down those steps.
That's what they had at Ring of Honor. They had the stairs going down. So he was probably used to it, where a lot of the other people even some of the Ring of Honor guys that were used to it since they've been away, they weren't really probably not used to it. But like you said, Dalton Cal, I thought, like we had said, the guy's sports fucking entertainer. So Chris Jericho, you want to call yourself a sports entertainer? Jericho Appreciation Society, you want to call yourself sports entertainers? Cue up the Dalton Castle tape, because you boys can learn some fucking shit from Dalton Castle.
So we talked about that Willow versus Allison was possibly the lowest point, but I'm gonna have to tie it with what happened at the very end, because just the way I think about things, like FTR versus the Briscoes, established team versus established team. Having the Blackpool Combat Club come out there, possibly foreshadowing that a thrown together tag team could possibly dethrone FTR, kind of worries me. It's like, no, don't do that. Don't have a, let's put, okay, we got 4 guys. They haven't really tag team as much, but Cesaro and Wheeler, we'll throw them in our tag team and they'll dethrone FTR. No, nobody wants to see that. We want to see FTR, if they go down, be defeated by an established tag team, not some WWE, let's throw this guy and this guy together. AEW, we had Hangman and Kenny, which at first was like, but then it ended up being great, of course. But they had a lot of time together. We don't want to see Wheeler and Claudio. Here we go. You guys, okay, you fight him now. You're both champions. You can have more time. No. That was tied with the low point of the Willow match. Was the very end of the pay-per-view. I was hoping, I was like, please just go to credits. Please just cut it off. And as I was walking away, I heard the crowd go, oh, and I was like, oh, fuck, what's Regal doing out there with these guys?
Yeah, for Tony Khan, for being a guy that said he's going to be different from what WWE does, if you're going to do that, that's something WWE would do. The perfect thing you could have did, if you wanted to bring those two out, bring out all your other champions. Be like, hey, we're Ring of Honor, we're our champions, along with our tag team champions there in the ring. These are the faces of our company right now. These are the guys and gal that you will see that are going to bring you in. These are the ones that we want you to see that will be either wrestling sporadically on AEW or will be wrestling on our pay-per-views coming up. You could have did that, and then you could have cut the credits, and you could have went home. Everybody could have went home happy. But them doing this shit, yeah, that's not. You don't need to have these guys challenge FTR. You could have just went. You could have just had to go to cut credits. Because FTR BW regardless. Wheeler and Cesaro are going to be on AEW. You don't need these two going against each other. You don't need them dethroning FTR as your Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. It's just it stinks of WWE and us as fans. We crave something different, and when you throw that juicy little tidbit out there, like, oh, we're going to be different, and then you go and do the same fucking thing. This is why we don't have faith in you, Tony Khan. This is why we don't.
That being said, thank you to whoever listens to this. It's a little tripod sidebar here with Stix and myself. It was a Ring of Honor pay-per-view. I enjoyed it. It was worth every penny. The future looks bright for Ring of Honor if this is consistent. But ladies and gentlemen, until next time, tune into the tripod, which will be tomorrow. And until then, let's see, how should we end the sidebar? Until then,
tandem guys out.
booyah.